Yes, Madhya Vanakkam. Saptingla. What did you have? Same rice. Parota. Green rice. What rice? Greens. Okay. Spinach. Tell spinach. No, green rice it seems. Parota. With what? Chicken curry. All right. All right, guys, let's begin. Come on. Corporate law. Yeah, if you see the study material, especially for interpretation of statute. Anyway, my material is also good enough, but I'm just showing you here. So all these things, 42 pages and all they have given. But harmonious construction, you have done all these things. So what mischief rule, beneficial construction, exceptional construction, justum generis. All right. So only this part, it's there in my notes also, in the institute material also. First of all, guys, interpretation of statute. So whatever I am going to tell now, interpretation of statute. Just the basics, and I'm going to tell you something which as Indians we should all know. Interpretation of statute. Tell me, guys, what do you mean by statute? Law. Law, correct. Yes, it is law. Okay, in that, when I say statute, it is law, 100% right. I'll have to interpret that law. So, how do I interpret the law is the big question, and why should I check everything? There are three modes of, what do you say, three sources of law. I have told you time and again, in foundation also I remember, and inter also initially first time when I had come, I had touched upon these things. What are the sources according to you? What are the sources of law? First and foremost, guys, it is the legislation. That is the legislative assembly or the legislature, so to speak. They are the law making body, you know. Who makes all these laws? The legislature. Next, obviously something called as judicial precedent. Judicial precedent means precedent is something which has never happened before. For the first time ever if it happens, that is called precedent. So judicial precedent is the next part. One, of course, is the legislative assembly or the legislature. I'll come to that. Judicial precedent means, for example, in the Nirbhaya rape case, generally, as per mens rea, they said only if you are an adult, you can commit a crime. So can't children commit crimes? You would have seen many cases where a 12-year-old kid murdered his 8-year-old sister. It has happened. Now that mens rea, criminal intention, will it come only if you are 18 plus or will it be lesser also? Lesser. So that thing was sort of in India especially came about when? During the Nirbhaya rape case, where a 16-year-old guy was the person who inflicted the most pain on that lady and obviously murdered that lady. So the court was unable to forgive that person or even say that how come law will not apply to this guy. They were shocked. So they said, I need to change the law. So judicial precedent. Precedent means never before it had been, taken such a stand was taken. In fact, never before ever in the history of the judiciary that taken that stand saying that no, I am ordering you to change the law. So what law was changed? In Indian Penal Code, in that rape and murder section, they said that even if you are 16 years of age, still you can be tried as an adult. Means what? I can call you as an adult, deemed to be an adult, if the crime is a very heinous crime. Means it is barbaric, it is some level which cannot be even thought of. That level crime is what they said. So that is judicial precedent. So first is what? Legislative or the legislature. Second one is what? The judicial precedent is something that they have spoken about. Third one is, as you know, this I have explained, customs and traditions of the country. That I have already explained. Customs and tradition, like, you have to remove your slippers before entering into a sacred place, all these things. There are no written rules, but these are unwritten rules. Why are you coming to KSA and why have you removed your slippers? Why can't you, wear your slippers? Because this is like a temple of learning. So all of us have to remove the slippers. It's a temple of learning here. That's the reason. So where knowledge will be shared and sar will be shared, all that. This is a temple of learning. So yeah, that's all. You tell. That's what, temple of learning. So to get these dialogues and all and this sound, you have to remove our slippers. Better, we can hear it in a better way. Yes. That is the reason. Now customs and traditions, etc. also will form part of the law. Now I want to just concentrate here on the legislature. Things that I am going to tell now in this session will mother promise, God promise never come in the exam. But if you do not obviously understand the correct way, then there is really no point in being CA students. It's zero, it's waste. It is waste for us to be CA students by studying something we don't know why we are studying. Correct? The most important thing that we need to know is why the hell we are studying. And one more sad part of the story is this entire chapter also is proposed to be removed in the new syllabus. God only should help those students. So if you do not know how to interpret the statute, I don't know what is the point. This clearly shows that sometimes the people who there, lawmakers, are fools. Lawmakers, when any lawmaker, sometimes, but not always. Coming to this legislature part, any law that I want to sort of, impose, I want to start in my country, there has to be some aid of interpretation. So interpretation is figuring it out why the hell the statute was there. Why was there a law? Now why did that law come in that Nirbhaya case saying 16-year-old can be tried as a thing? Because there was a precedent. Already something had happened. So the history of our country, they are not, I told you about Jayaraman sir, right? He was always telling one dialogue. So generally I never understood why he was telling that dialogue. He never used to explain why. He only used to tell one dialogue. History is not the event of the past. It is guidance for the future. He simply used to tell this dialogue, never explain why, nothing. Nowadays I have been understanding that as to why history are the events of are not just events of the past, but what? Guidance for the future as such, guidance for the future. Now, as simple as, for example, a competition act, if you think about it, why did we need competition act in the first place was the question. Why did we even need competition act? So the thing is, there were many things. For that, we should see, I'll show you, did I show you that Shashi Tharoor video? No, okay. So this video will help us understand just the barbaric nature with which our Britishers actually, ruled over our country. The exact nature of their thing. I'll show you this video. You need to watch it. You will really like that. So if this video, you will understand what I am trying to tell. After that, we'll go to a different area, which I will show you. So this video especially will help us understand. Thankfully, there are subtitles. That fellow, when he speaks, nobody can understand. So, but thankfully there are subtitles to understand. This video with subtitles also you can't understand. These fellows' videos, correct? That's a different thing, right? But this normal, yeah, I'll show you. So, right. So he went to some, talk in the British channel, that British channel fellow is telling, anyway, we didn't do so much for your country. What should we do? This guy is telling, you should ask sorry. At least you should ask sorry for what you did. That fellow is telling, what did we even do to ask sorry? So he just explains in his own way. Check it out. You should see it to believe it. Hold on 1 second. So he's asking, do you want us to be ashamed? So you can read the subtitles. 1 second.
Ashamed? Is that what you want, you know?
I think there is a case for atonement, and atonement will only come when there is recognition of the wrongs that were done.
But those who perpetrated are all dead. You know, a small handful of people benefited directly from the Raj. I mean, you can talk about the trickle down and the repatriation of funds to the UK, but to many people living today in the UK don't feel like they were beneficiaries of that.
There were vast sums that were sent here, Colin, to the UK, not a trickle. Vast sums in the billions in today's money, perhaps more. Some have calculated even higher sums. But I'm not here to talk money, because I think what's far more important is the moral case. I think what really matters is for Britain to look within and to recognize there's something to be apologetic about. Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, apologized last year on the centenary of an incident in which a ship laden with Indian refugees fleeing the British was turned away from Vancouver port, and pretty much everybody on board came to a grisly end, either on the high seas or subsequently at British hands. And Trudeau, even though the Canadians didn't actually kill anybody themselves, and even though that was also 100 years ago, did apologize. To my mind, I think just taking collective responsibility is a moral step that the British have simply not contemplated after 200 years of profiting from their empire. And I think it's sad. We just celebrated the centenary, or commemorated the centenary of the First World War in these last few years. It's still going on, really, till 2018. Do you know that a million Indians fought under arms for the British side? Do you know it was largely Indian soldiers that stopped the German advance at Ypres at the beginning of the war? Do you know that India supplied pack animals, food, clothing, rations, even rail lines ripped out of the ground in India and sent off to aid the war effort? And that the total contribution of Indians in cash and kind is estimated in today's money at about 80 billion pounds sterling? I'm quite sure you don't know that, because the British don't tell you that. It's a great triumph for British arms, but India has been forgotten. I drove past a statue in London to animals that participated in the war. There is no statue to the Indians who've done this for Britain. I think at some point the British really ought to look back at their 200 years, not through the rose-tinted spectacles with which you see these gauzy, romanticized television soap operas about India, but look back at the reality, not just the financial reality, the reality in terms of human lives that were affected and transformed because of the colonial enterprise, and then decide if there is something worth apologizing for. I believe there is.
Did they leave anything good behind?
Well, they left a number of things that were not intended to be for the benefit of Indians, but which, once they were left behind, were transformed by the Indians into benefiting them. Such as, for example, the railways, which have been created in order to extract resources from the Indian hinterland and take them to the ports to be shipped to England for the greater glory of England. But of course, once the British left, we were able to use the railways and continue to do so for the benefit of Indians, and particularly for passenger movement, not for extracting resources. Similarly, with many other British legacies, none of which were actually introduced to India to benefit the Indians, but only to serve as instruments of either British control or British profit.
Yes, so as you can see, he has clearly showed what did the British ever do to our country. Did they do or not? What they did? Nothing, right? So what they did was only to loot us. So if you see, that is one part of the story. So if you see the history of that particular, of our country, what exactly happened was something different. So I'll have to just go back a few years back to understand what happened in these years, 1975, 76. When did we get our independence? 47. So that around that time, you also had the, World War II. So going back to World War II, so obviously there were countries, USA, then you were Germany, France, and the United Kingdom, right? These were all part of something called as the Allied countries. So British were obviously in 1940s, this happened in 1930s, etc. So they were for 1940s. So we were still getting ruled under them. So the thing is, as Shashi Tharoor mentioned, Indians, I mean the British ensured all the Indians went there for fighting. Whose war? World War, which is not even our war. So they were sent, including animals, etc. And now if you see, there were monuments made for animals, but not even for Indians. And there are many, many letters. My grandmom was born in 1933, and she tells me that there are many benches that time which says that Indians and dogs are not allowed here in the offices, right? In our country, think about it. So our blood should boil thinking of, they came to our country, and in our country they are telling Indians and dogs are not allowed. And in many chairs that were sitting there, my grandmom still tells, generally we feel all this is nonsense, but why would they lie? These are all, as I told you, history is not events of the past, guidance for the future. We should understand why we are, we should never let anybody come and take us for granted. The problem with us Indians is we have this Atiti Devo Bhava. Anybody comes here, we'll say, oh, please come, please come. We'll obviously welcome them with open arms, because that's our, as I told you yesterday also, in the Pakistani army, if anybody dies in India, we still give them a very honorable, goodbye, because they are at the end of the day soldiers, whether not fighting for our country, whether fighting for some country, they have that patriotism. We, by nature itself, we are like that. We are very welcoming. So the thing is, that's the problem. So these people made use of that, and then sky was the limit. So all these people were sent to the British effort there in the World War II. Many people died, and they didn't even want to fight for the British. They were forced. So somebody coming to your house and taking over your house, and then you are living under their control, is something that we should never allow in the future to happen. So especially the British, as I told you, the Atiti Devo Bhava culture was in such a way that people obviously we were made fun of, and we were divided. Divide and rule policy was something that they used. Here, generally, when I use the word oppression, you will understand oppression of majority or minority. Oppression of minority or majority, like the majority will oppress the minority, or ulta. Always majority will oppress the minority. That's generally the rule. But in India, if you see the history reverse, it is actually minority oppressing the entire majority, purely by the concept of divide and rule. So divide and rule was the entire, game plan, as simple as that. So I have studied extensively, many things, and I've come out with this thing just to tell you what is the importance of law. So that is my duty. That is not your duty. Your duty is just to consume whatever is being thrown at you, and then nothing is irrelevant, nothing is out of syllabus. I do not even know how to go out of syllabus and tell some nonsense and do some drama, all that. Last time you said singing and all, that I'll never do, because I don't know what to do. For me, it is only the, subject. Everything around the subject, I will tell. If you tell me to sing, dance and all, I will do. I will tell. Anyway, come back. So anyway, coming back, guys, so this part is something, since I'm extremely passionate, obviously lot of hours and hours of research to understand why the hell should we interpretation of statutes. Why? What is a statute? Why did the law come? So that part. So coming back from way back 1930. So my mom, when she still tells that it was so horrible that we in our own country gone. And she was in a place called Coorg. It was a coffee estate. Her father had lot of coffee estates, everything taken over by the British. In the end, while they were leaving, they just threw some 7 acres. She had almost 150 acres. While they left, they gave only some 7 acres. That too, he had to buy. He had to buy his own land from the British. So that's what happened. So they said India at that time was at the brink of poverty. Brink of poverty. Can you just guess the life expectancy of an Indian at the time of British? Life expectancy at the age in 1947, true story, true statistics, 27 years. That's it. 27. 27, you're dead. Why? There is no hospital, there is no medical facility. When small fever something comes, no medication, died. So all these are grandmoms, great grandmothers, great grandfathers. They had all these, that like mulligatawny, right? Using those herbs, etc. Only they ensured that something got cured. But there was no allopathy medicine. So 27 was the life expectancy. Imagine you do CA, you finish CA. After finishing CA, you're dead. I'm just saying, it's like that. First of all, you die doing CA. After CA, you are reborn. Next day, dead. So 27 years was the life expectancy of an Indian, unfortunately, at that time. So it was shameful, guys, and it all went to whom? British. It went to British. I had gone to England and I wanted to see the Kohinoor diamond. Kohinoor diamond is our diamond. It was stolen from us and kept there. To enter that bloody place where my property is kept, I have to pay 2000 rupees. Correct? So we paid and we went there. And that fellow is telling, do not go near, do not touch, do not take pictures. I wanted to slap him, like, hey, it's mine, what, do not touch it and all. But anyway, when I turned around and saw everywhere, all were Indians only there. All of us had gone to see the diamond which was snatched away from us illegally and which is kept there as a, token of British legacy, so to speak. Almost 60-70% of UK is built from the blood money and sweat of our country. You go and see, you will come to know. Correct? It is. That's why I like Ambani. He is buying all English, British companies. He bought Hamleys and all those things. Good. Right? Reverse. Right? That's why I feel very nice when India beat England. Even in cricket also, when India beat England, India, Pakistan and all, I really don't care. Whoever wins, it's fine. But India, England, when beats England, no, we are beating them at their own game. So it feels, extra special sometimes when we beat them. Anyway, so if you see, but the most, coveted moment is if RCB wins. RCB will never win. Okay. So you should always not do only serious stuff. You should throw in some funny stuff also. Anyway, coming back to this is one thing which obviously the Britishers were doing. And one more thing, guys, the Britishers were so cruel. At the West Bengal, that West Bengal part, the entire West Bengal region. So there were extremely amazing weavers. Weavers were there. This is from thousands of years ago. 2000, 3000 years ago and all, or 10,000 years ago, the country's wealth is measured by what? Gold. And our country was abundantly wealthy. Even Padmanabha temple, if you see now, there are old things. This is after all the looting. Yes, vault is there with all the gold. It is after all the looting, still it's there. Think about how much it was. So it went, and the name of Indian linen, the material, the weaving, the craftsmanship of our country reached the Roman Empire, talking about thousands of years ago. The Roman women had a fancy for Indian weaving. So they used to send everybody for, weaving. Then Britishers also came to know about all that, of course, many years later. They also started looting. So Britishers started exporting all the Indian stuff outside and started importing with very high import duty all the horrible stuff from England. Because in West Bengal, people were weaving it superbly. Guess what they did? They cut off their thumbs. True story. Correct? Again, guys, history is, it'll boil your blood, but we should know. They cut off all their thumbs. Weavers' thumbs. One day they called them everything out. They asked them to hand out your hand. They said, we'll be giving you ID wristbands like that. Bands we will give you. Take out your hand. And what they did was chop, chop, chop everywhere, so that they could never weave. Because Indian weaving, they had said, I do not want this country to thrive at all. As I told you, the GDP was 0.0001%, which is actually, and even the education budget of our country was, of the entire country, mind you, was combined, was not even actually 10% of the education budget of New York City that time. Imagine one city, New York City, and the whole country, education budget. So when people say that England brought English and all, they didn't do anything. All the educational marvels all came after independence. The Indian Institute of Technology, Indian Institute of Management, and all CA, for example, 1949 CA Act. Immediately after independence, it is Indians, because of our inherent intelligence, is what we did. And if you see across the world also, which countries' citizens have, what do you say, highest, intellect, if you think about it, and where in every segment Indians are there. So the movie Avatar, which was considered to be one of the greatest marvels of that time, 2009, 70% of the movie was shot by Indians. In the sense, they created the entire technology. It was in Chennai, Hyderabad, and Bangalore. Do you even know that? No. So 70% of the movie, right? So nobody has the brilliance. Nobody has the brilliance like us Indians. So even CA course, for that matter, it is considered to be one of the toughest courses in the world. So you guys are actually doing one of the toughest courses in the world. So it's okay. Sometimes you may fail, sometimes you may not be able to get through. Do not worry. You are actually doing one of the toughest courses in the world. Our Indian UPSC exams are also considered one of the top-notch exams in the world. IIT exams, IIM exams, all that. So your blood should boil when people say, what stupid education in our country. Correct? People will tell, no, I want to go abroad for education. Yes, I agree. Everybody, even Sundar Pichai studied in a college in Chennai, for your information, and then he went abroad. Maybe higher education, yes, definitely exposure is good, etc. But we are no less in education, and we are no less in sheer brilliance, so to speak, right? Now, this is what happened. Systematic looting. As I told you, export everything you export from the country. Systematically, we were drained of our resources, and heavy imports into the country with high import duty. Who had to pay that? India. So Indians had to pay. So they were made to pay taxes from a long time. So it is something very strange that somebody from outside is coming and telling me what to do in my own country, right? So basically they looted. So as I told you, 70% of the whole of UK is actually due to the blood money. It's actually blood money of our country. Anyway, so we obviously fought for our independence tooth and nail. There also there was divide and rule. There were revolutionaries like Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad, Rajguru, etc. But there were also non-violent, people like, of course, Mahatma Gandhi and all these things. But there also there were politics, etc. for sure. And what should have been one single country, Muhammad Ali Jinnah came and told that I want a separate country made of only Muslims, and that should be called as Pakistan. I do not want your country. So whatever it is, 1947, we got our independence, but immediately after we got our independence, another war began, and that was obviously Indo-Pak war, which is still running after years and years. So as I told you the other day only, our Hari Singh was at the cusp of the entire thing. If you go to that belt, you will see all the trade routes also pass through Kashmir. So it was very, very important location. So the moment we got some breathing space, the moment one external entity who had come inside the house threw us, we threw them out very, very successfully after years and years of oppression. Unfortunately, we started infighting. We started infighting. So even if you see yesterday, 2 people murdered one guy. Did you read the newspaper? Did you read the thing? Yes. In Udaipur, because that fellow supported one guy, some 2 people came and killed. It is actually no longer about religion. None of the scriptures, when I was in BCom, I studied Bhagavad Gita, Quran and Bible. None of these scriptures ever tell to harm any human being. I can assure you that. I have read all the 3 just to know why the hell everybody is killing everybody. What is there in Bhagavad Gita? What is there in Quran? Everything they tell the same only, to be very honest with you. But interpretation is different. See, interpretation is different. The way you interpret things, unfortunately, is different. Correct? So the problem is that only the infighting started, and this Jinnah wanted a separate country. Fair enough. They should just go and make a separate country. But again they interfered. So because of that, Hari Singh had to, through an instrument of ascension, he gave away full Kashmir to India. That was it. That was the final thing. But again, Pakistan had to interfere, and they took over a part of it. Even today as we speak, a part of our country is called POK, Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and you will be shocked to know that in their map that part is called IOK. The other part, full Kashmir part which we are there, which is our country, they have named it as Indian occupied Kashmir. They still have it on their map, imagine. So the thing is, that is because of the LOC. Again, our politicians of that time sold their souls. Forget about their souls, they sold our country also. When somebody comes into your house and says it's mine, you will tell, okay sir, this room is yours, that room is mine. From today, you don't come here, I don't come there. That nobody will do that. Correct? So sometimes, force is needed. There also Atiti Deva Bhava will not work. But anyway, after 1947, all the engineering marvels started. Indian Institutes of Technology was there. Chartered Accountants Act came into force. Slowly and steadily. It took time, guys. It took time. Ours was a huge country. From a life expectancy of 27 and from GDP of 0.001% growth, actually in GDP over the years, we had to rebuild our country brick by brick. And it is not possible with so many languages, religion, sect, subsect, caste, subcaste. It is not possible. It is impossible to do that. But yet, our country is such that though whatever differences we have, still we have the concept of, unity. We tried our best and it took some time. But again, first enemy was, of course, British. They left. Then enemy was Pakistan. They also left. Then enemy started where? From within. Indians only started fighting with Indians. We did not have any money. No money only. What to do? So we needed money from outside, right? We needed money from outside. So one country always were ready to help, and that was USA. USA has a dirty habit of interfering in everything, correct? The Vietnam War, somebody is fighting, they went and interfered. Afghanistan, somebody is fighting, they went and interfered. They have that, they think, in Ukraine also, I understand fighting that is wrong, but they feel that they are the superpower. They are not. USA is one of the dumbest countries in the whole world. The people there, 100%, right? I was just speaking to my friend who is actually in the US. So I asked him, I feel USA are dumb. What do you feel? He said, yes. He also told the same thing. You will not believe the level of, ignorance in this particular country, right? One of my other friends also, very good friend, he was my school friend. He was always jumping, USA, 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 USA. There they went, Donald Trump threw him out. He was there for 5-6 years. He was about to buy a house. He had bought a car. One fine day on his birthday, Donald Trump sends a love letter saying that, Macha, poda. And 14 days, get out. 14 days, that's all. Sell whatever you have, get out. Though his visa was extended, everything, they said, no, I don't want you here. So like that, he threw out almost 2 to 3 lakh Indians, saying that I will not issue visa. In 14 days, if you do not step out of the country, get out of my country, you will be jailed. So whatever he had invested, he sold everything and he came. He became a chapadasi and came back home. He told, I didn't have 1 rupee also. I sold everything at a loss. He bought a car for some 20 lakhs, he sold it for 50,000 and came. Who will buy? 14 days if you are leaving, who will buy? They know that you are leaving. They'll ask you the reason for sale, no? You will tell, sir, they threw me out. Okay, then until you reach 50,000 rupees, I will not buy. 50,000, like one scrap he sold and came. So he came here, nothing. Then they bought a house, slowly they built everything, they bought a house. Day before yesterday, before I came here, before that Ladakh trip, I met him. So that time he was telling, Macha, whatever it is India, Macha, I told, right? That's what. And he genuinely meant it. He said, whatever it is our country is our country. In India, wherever I stay, my country is my country. I said, now you realized. Chumma, you went there to make a life and all that. That's it. So I don't believe it. That doesn't mean they are wrong. He wanted to have a good life, fine. Actually, the standard of living, everything is very good there compared to this place, obviously. Anyway, that's their choice, that you live. Anyway, so one country, these fellows always keep interfering. But at the same time, and always they lose also. Vietnam, they lost. Afghanistan, they lost. And simply, it's like they'll be one friend. When two people are fighting, this fellow will simply go and tell why you are fighting. From both people will sit and hit him later. Same thing, USA is that friend. correct? Wherever his job is not needed to go there, he will go and interfere. So he's that kind of a friend. So, but they saw potential in India. They saw that Indians are awesome, they are extremely brilliant. He saw super potential. Then one more, India's friend always, from, yes, Russia, always India's friend. Both were there. Both of them sent their agents in between 1950 to 1970. The USA sent their Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, and Russians sent KGB. KGB full form, if you figure out, KGB and CIA, both of them were in India. Indians were ruled, believe it or not, by KGB and CIA for so many years, 15 to 20 years. We don't know all these things, so that's the truth. We were ruled. Obviously, rulers were Indians only. Money, who gave money? Obviously, CIA and KGB. Russian intelligence agency, KGB agents and CIA. There are mountains and mountains of documents and evidence which clearly tells how much money was being there. It was a game of chess. The chess board, the entire thing was India. Because they knew India was a country of abundant resources even after all the looting. And the most important resource that we have is human resource. That had to be exploited to the core. So they knew it. And they did not have money also. So Indians did not have money. So till 1975, it was obviously ruled by Central Intelligence Agency and of course KGB. It was always a game of cat and mouse. It was always, both of them did it together. That's what happened. So in 1975, during this time and all these things, let's go back 10 years before, in 1960s, etc. When they were still doing all these things, Indians in their own backyard, this was in 1940s only, forget about 1916, 40s only, very, very rich family sent their son abroad. You please go study there. In India, nothing will happen. That guy went, studied abroad in Oxford and in other parts of the UK only, and came back to India. So that person's name is Homi J. Bhabha, right? Homi J. Bhabha. So Homi Bhabha is considered to be the father of the atomic revolution in India. He went there, studied everything, and he came back to India and he developed India's first atomic bomb. India's first atomic bomb when entire world could not develop, again through sheer brilliance. Two people, Homi J. Bhabha and his student Vikram Sarabhai. Vikram Sarabhai went on to become the chief of ISRO, founder of ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, right? Founder of ISRO. This guy, Homi J. Bhabha, with nothing, there is no material, no funds, nothing. They built from scratch. If you see even the Mangalyaan mission, Chandrayaan mission, we have produced the satellite at 1/10th of the cost, 1/20th of the cost. Correct? We Indians are like that only. We know how to, that's in a Hindi, there's a word called jugad. Jugad means adjustment. We know how to adjust. We know everything. So whenever we are the masters of jugad. In your home only, fan if it is not working, some jugad you will do. Correct? The lock if it is not working, something you will do. If the table is creaking, one paper you will put. You will not buy new. New and all, no. Who will spend money? We'll do this. Shorts is torn. Stitch it. Then it is, the pant is torn, make it shorts. Correct? To a tear everywhere, make it one design. Correct? So, everything, pen nib is almost over, we'll not buy new pen. We'll still buy another refill. Though that pen is old, dead, it is telling, bro, throw me, bro, enough. For 10 rupees, we'll not spend. That is not called stinginess. We are very jugadu. We know exactly what to do. So, like, best example that you will all relate. Do you have hand wash in your house? Tell me honestly, half hand wash will be in the pantry. In other half hand, if other half hand wash, half liter water will be there. Yes. If any Indian family, if any Indian house has full hand wash, I'll change my name. Middle class, like us, all of us, if we have like proper hand wash, no way. That will only come when relatives come. And relatives come, full will show. Correct? That's what it is. And one soap, if we use, on top, one more soap will come. Correct? So the soap will not throw also. On that soap, one more soap. Paste, though, don't ask. Paste will do full WWF on it. Full like this. Then they'll use that balan. Correct? That you will use chapati. Mom is making chapati, we'll put there. And then we'll cut. Yesterday only I did. It was there. Like a wool waste. I cut. When you cut, that will come for 3 days. Yes or no? Yes. After everything is over also, some traces will be there. No, in the why chumma to waste all that. Then the other part also will not have traces. What we'll put? We'll put water. Correct? And then sauce also, you know, sauce bottle. Yeah. Last part will be water. So all of us can relate to that. We are Indians, we are jugadus. We will not do anything by spending money. Though we are the richest people, correct? We are rich at heart. If anybody comes, we'll, we welcome them with open mouths. Correct. Come back. So here, if you see, Homi J. Baba was the guy who told that time Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri. He just told Lal Bahadur Shastri. He was very good friends with Jawaharlal Nehru also. And after Jawaharlal Nehru's time, Lal Bahadur Shastri was the Prime Minister. Because that time Indo-Pakistan war was happening, same 1960s, 70s, Indo-Pakistan war. This guy said one simple dialogue. You tell me when you want atomic bomb, it will be ready. I have the entire thing. Vikram Sarabhai, on the other hand, did not like this. He did not want to. There is a very, very good show called Rocket Boys. Excellent show called Rocket Boys. Please watch it. I think it's on Sony. It's on Sony Live or Live, whatever that thing is. Very good show. Excellent show called Rocket Boys that shows the life of Homi J. Baba and Vikram Sarabhai. When I did, this was done like 1.5 years ago. That thing came last year, I think. When I did my research, I could relate so many things. A lot of masala is added in that show. Nothing happened, but it's okay. Overall, it's good show, very good show, right? This guy. So if you see, there are many such brilliant people. Under him was APJ Abdul Kalam. Correct? And also under him was Nambiyar. Nambi effect movie is coming, Madhavan. So Nambiyar. Rocketry, the Nambi effect, it's coming. So that also. They are also infighting. See, they simply put espionage charges against him. They said he was a agent of Pakistan, agent of some other country and all those things. Anyway, so coming back to Homi J. Baba, he said, you tell me the word, tomorrow, bomb, I will create. The entire world did not want, especially USA, did not want India to be a nuclear superpower. They were shocked that we were dying for 100 years. We could not do anything. These fellows, after independence, in 20 years, they are able to do atomic bomb. So it is incredible. Nobody could do this, correct? And at that time also, C.V. Raman was there. He created something called the Raman effect, correct? Ramanujam, you already knew. He created many things. So if you see, we Indians were, always extremely brilliant. Anyway, so Homi J. Baba said, first ever atomic bomb, you name it, it will be done. So the thing is, guys, at that time, Lal Bahadur Shastri, correct, he was about to sign a treaty, correct? He signed a treaty also. This is the Indo-Pak War Peace Treaty. Peace Treaty, they signed it in a place called Tashkent in USSR. It was the, Soviet, that is Russia. Again, Russia were always India's friends. They called him, they said, come, you sign. They signed the, Tashkent Agreement. That day, Lal Bahadur Shastri was murdered. Correct? It is alleged that it is done by the Congress government. It is alleged, I am telling you, alleged Congress government along with CIA. Some other reports say Congress government along with KGB. So there are multiple reports. That's why I am telling these are facts. Now what is the real truth? We do not know. Tashkent file is one of the Lal Bahadur Shastri is dead is a unsolved mystery till today. They told he had a heart attack. The next day when the body was flown to this thing, that post-mortem report only was not there. That post-mortem, the person who came for the report was completely different from the other person who signed the report. And his, Lal Bahadur Shastri's mother had to see, unfortunately, his son's body. And there she saw that near the neck, it was all blue. and even the lips were all blue. That will only come through poisoning. So Lal Bahadur Shastri, after signing the treaty, was killed. And just 15 days later, my dear friends, Homi J. Baba was attending a seminar in Mobla in Switzerland. Mont Blanc, not Mont Blanc, Montblanc. Have you seen? Have you heard? It's actually pronounced as Mobla. Mobla in Switzerland. He was in the Swiss Alps. He was going. 125 passengers were there in his flight because of one man, Homi J. Baba. Either CIA or KGB killed everybody on board. Plane crash. Even till today, Homi J. Baba's death is a mystery. It is either CIA or KGB. We do not know who. It is not a conspiracy theory, it is the truth. But who killed it, who killed them, don't know. Tashkent also, who killed Shastri, we don't know. The Kashmir Files directors, earlier 2-3 years ago, Agnihotri had done some research and he opened a movie called Tashkent Files. There he has shown exactly what has happened and all those things. So these are all true things in our country. Till today, we don't know who killed Lal Bahadur Shastri. Till today, we don't know who killed Homi J. Baba. Homi J. Baba was murdered at the young age of some 53 or something. That's it. 10 more years if you had given him, he would have done wonders. A life was taken away. And Vikram Sarabhai also, unfortunately, Vikram Sarabhai died a natural death, again at a very young age of 54. But he was 10-15 years junior to this guy, so he was still able to take this fellow's legacy forward by creating ISRO. Though they had their differences, because Vikram Sarabhai was a non-violent guy, did not want atomic thing, but this guy, Homi J. Baba, said, today you tell, tomorrow it will be ready. He was ready, though it was not ready that time. So in that Sino-Indian peace treaty, this is the actual newspaper clipping. It mysteriously dies at the thing. So the Tashkent File movie also came based on these lines only. So this is the true story. This was the date, 11 January 1966 is when he passed away. And few days, that's what I told you, that happened. So in the KGB, whether it was KGB, whether it was CIA, did not know who did it. So there was this journalist, forgot the name. So he interviewed these guys. He interviewed this KGB agent, this fellow. That fellow was called as Robert Crowley, sorry, CIA agent. So Robert Crowley, I think the book, I had read that book, it's called Conversations with the Crow, because his name is Robert Crowley, no? So Conversations with the Crow, PJ there also. Conversations with the Crow, that was the name of the book, Conversations with the Crow. So here he has clearly written that, he was actually codenamed Crow also, that's why his code name was Crow. That's why Conversations with the Crow, it is a book which is banned in Russia, banned in USA for obvious reasons, because both of them are involved in that. So some online copy I found out somewhere, in that I was reading that. So in there he told that CIA was the one who murdered Lal Bahadur Shastri and Homi J. Baba because they did not want India's atomic power to become a atomic superpower. That is what happened. So they killed. At that time, my dear friends, KGB, through KBG's sponsoring and through KGB's money that came, a lioness became the prime minister. Why I am calling her a lioness is because she was extremely fearless. So basically, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was there, and after a couple of people, Lal Bahadur Shastri came. Then it was back to dynastic politics. And this time it was, what? Indira Gandhi. Indira Gandhi, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's daughter, became the prime minister of the country. So she was called as the lioness because of her fearlessness. There are many interviews you can read. I'll share you a link. Let's see. It's a very nice interview. You should see the way she speaks. Complete fearlessness. But the entire country at that time was under the control of KGB. And there have been many, pictures and also documents which clearly show the evidence of collusion between Indian government and Russia. Russia has been India's friend for a long time. So when they needed money, it was Russia who supplied the money. And Indira Gandhi's code name was Vano. It was Vano in Russia. It would mean something, I don't know. So her code name was Vano. And there have been many, pictures, etc., showing transfer of money. They used to bring money in suitcases to the parliament. directly, openly giving money. They used to go park in one place and exchange in the cars only money. There are photographs, there are documentary evidence, then through many books, etc. Many of it Congress government only destroyed during that time, completely destroyed. That is how it is. So there were certain news channels and newspapers. News channels were not there. Newspapers were in 1975. There were some 6 newspapers. All 6 newspapers were owned by KGB. So Indians used to read news which was printed by KGB agents in India, and they had bought the parliament also. They had bought many ministers. Is all the true things. So 1978 they bought many journalists. They bought cartoonists. 1977, 1 year before, they bought politicians. Means political parties and politicians were in their pocket. KGB, they were running the show. And much before only, all this export import thing also, what they did was they started exporting many things to Russia. And importing also only from Russia to help KGB. So that is how the Indo-Russian friendship blossomed, because we are only taking stuff only from Russia. So obviously everything increased. KGB also pumped in money and they were running the show. In one of the books, this is the dialogue that I saw, it seemed like the entire country was for sale. Imagine. The KGB and CIA had deeply penetrated the Indian government. So the Congress government were under KGB rule, of course with their support. Not that Indira Gandhi was always listening to them. Indira Gandhi said, I will do whatever the hell I want. You give me the funds, but I will ensure that you will also be protected. But the CIA came to the other parties. And they started also supporting them, all the other parties that were there at that time. Now, in this 1975, around 10.6 million rubles means is the Russian currency, was pumped into the country. And there was a very famous governor, that is Krishna Menon. He was also the finance minister and Ministry of Home Affairs. Krishna Menon was, of course, union guy, was the civil servant, IAS officer. So he was commissioned to buy jet planes, etc., only from Russia. The MiG planes, correct? So this was also commissioned from Russia. So if you see those planes which we bought in 1975, still are there, guys. MiG-21, still there, we are flying. Wing Commander Abhinandan, he was actually in a very stupid plane, horrible plane, it's some old, it's like one truck. And these Pakistani fellows are, flying Rafale jets. And we are sitting and flying truck. So imagine a truck is racing versus some Mercedes-Benz car. But still the truck won, only because of the pilot's brilliance. So Wing Commander Abhinandan knocked down 2 planes, and unfortunately, it's on truck you are going, what will you do? He also got knocked down, and of course, thankfully he survived. You know all the story. So yes, so again to sort of bolster Indo-Russian brilliance, this is what happened. 1973, as I told you, all these editors, everybody was bought by KGB. That's it. And there was one more guy called this Pramod Das Gupta. He was from the, Communist Party. He was also later jailed and proven that he was also an informant of CIA. So basically, your and my country was being ruled by USA, that is CIA, and KGB. KGB was giving huge financial support. And CIA also was giving huge financial support to the other parties. It was a power game. So there was a book called The Mitrokhin Archive. It is written by Christopher Andrew. So in this, they clearly give all the proof, everything. I have read this book in this full, that Sword and the Shield it's called. Also called as a Mitrokhin Archive. In this, each and every detail of the Congress government and what the other governments were doing, everything is there in this book, Mitrokhin Archive, banned in USA, banned in Russia, banned in India also. But somewhere in the dark web, if you search, someday you will get some redacted versions of this book. So you have to search a lot for this. You will get it, but you have to search a lot. So in that, this fellow, Christopher Andrew, had unearthed, talking to this guy, Mitrokhin, and figured out vast sums of money was being deposited in the country, and this lady was responsible. Of course, she took money, but she did whatever she wanted on her own. So at that juncture, you know what she did? In 1973, She said, I don't want foreign money to come to my country because it's coming through CIA. I don't want foreign money to come. So what should I do? I should create a law to ensure foreign money doesn't come. She created two laws. One is Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, FERA, and one more, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, FCRA. Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. Foreign money should not come to my country. I will allow foreign money to come to my country only to approved institutions. What were the approved institutions? All Russian companies. Approved institutions in India were Russian companies. Basically, she curbed. First is foreign exchange. I don't want my country to deal with somebody outside. So she brought out the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, which was total prohibition. Then Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, FCRA, where money is coming from outside India to my country. She said that has to be stopped, and that was also prohibited unless allowed. Everything was prohibited unless allowed. You see now FEMA, do you know? Foreign Exchange Management Act, 99. That is, everything is allowed except prohibited. Reverse. Everything is allowed except prohibited. There it was, everything is prohibited unless allowed. So FERA came. Then all these things happened, banks, everything they started. Now CIA again was in the opposition, and Indira Gandhi also abolished something called as the Privy Purse. In 1947, when the Britishers and all left, Maharajas and all were there, no? So that government then said, bro, you don't need your, throne and all, you give me all your palaces. All the palaces were taken over by Indian government. Maharaja started crying. I was the king of this land, I am not getting anything. So from 1947 to 1970, they were getting monthly pension, 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees, like that. Correct? My dad's friend is the Maharaja of, his very friend, he's a photography friend. He is one of Maharaja of one small province somewhere in North India. No one knows about that province also. That fellow, he never worked only because he was getting some 3 lakh rupees per month from the government. Just for being a prince. Just for being a prince. That was called as Privy Purse. That was called Privy Purse. Indira Gandhi said, hey, Vaida, shut up and work. When every whole country is working, you are sitting and enjoying, nothing doing. 1947 to 1973, you have looted money. You have taken 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs from the government just because you took over your palaces. Now, you only please work. So, she abolished what is called as Privy Purse. In the morning only, I told you guys that with obviously the hotbed of Indian politics starts from where? Religion. So, Indira Gandhi was a dictator. It's either you should my way or the highway. Simple. It is my way or the highway. You listen to me, you be according to me, then you are there. Little bit you go against me, you are out. So she was a dictator. She was a fearless lioness, no doubt, but she was a dictator. We have to agree. She is a dictator. She was. You ask your parents. They'll tell you. You just go today and ask your parents, do you remember India's emergency? That was in 1975. Your parents were very much there. You ask them. 1975, your parents are not there. They are there, no? No, your parents. Okay, third standard, fourth standard, they may not. Okay, if your party is there, party. Ask your party, how was emergency scenario? Steve will tell that emergency was just like COVID. COVID lockdown, no, same thing that time emergency. In 1975, one of the darkest phases of Indian democracy called as emergency. She realized that slowly the power was going away from her. So she, went to the president that time and said, President has the power to declare emergency in India. Emergency means all political parties suspended, all powers of constitution like freedom of liberty, everything taken away. It is president's rule. And who was president? At the hand of prime minister. President was prime minister's puppet. So she wanted to take control of the full country. and she imposed emergency. These 2 years are the darkest years of Indian democracy because it's like taking away your power. Today I will close the door and tell you cannot go. You will not be going until I tell you. In half an hour extra class if I take, forget half an hour, 1 minute extra I take, forget about 1 minute, 4:30 class, 4:25 only, guys, next topic, started. Correct? So that is now, imagine closing everything and then telling you will not open your mouth. If you open your mouth, you will only praise me. And if you open your mouth, you will eat only rice and rasam, nothing else. I'm just telling these 5-6 items. If I tell you, I'll ask you what you don't like. You'll say, I don't like potato. From today only potato curry. You have to eat. That was emergency. Emergency was such a deadly thing. If you oppose the government, jail. If you oppose the government, jail. Basically, completely against the Indian constitution. Darkest phase. And she said the hotbed of politics is what? Religion. So she said, now I am going to take over all the land which these Swamijis have. And one Swamiji, Kesavananda Bharati, I was telling you the other day, Kesavananda Bharati had huge lands, etc. She said, I'm going to take it over. So she just took over the land just like that. She imposed emergency, then she put this saying that I'm going to take over the land. So this created widespread protests in the country. One man went to Kesavananda Bharati and said, bro, don't worry, I'm there. I will definitely, argue your case. Please do not worry. That fellow said, I don't have anything to give, everything taken. He said, please, I don't want 1 rupee also from this case. I will win this case and this case will be noted as a star point. And many, many years later, one stupid fellow will sit in class and he will tell Kesavananda Bharati. Every CA what? Every CA should always know this case. Correct? Kesavananda Bharati. That is taking away your property. Imagine government will come and take over your property today and say, I will not give. Do whatever you want. You have earned that money. It's your liberty. I am not even constructing metro. It's not compulsory acquisition. Chumma I'll come and acquire. I'll say, no, I feel reasonable doubt that you will do anything against me, so I am taking over. How will you feel? It is blatant violation of constitution. And one man, as I told you, which man? Yes, this guy. Nani Palkiwala. Ram Jethmalini came much later. Nani Palkiwala, I told you, one of the greatest lawyers of all time. Nani Palkiwala, he said, don't worry, I will take. He had 2 juniors that time. One was, Fali Nariman. One more was Soli Sarabji. These were his juniors. Obviously, this was a much later picture. At that time, they were juniors. These 2 people were his juniors. He mentored them. In that, Rohington Nariman became the Chief Justice of Supreme Court. And Soli Sarabji became the Attorney General of India. Both mentored by, Nani Palkiwala. So, 3 of them. Other 2 were just there. This guy alone argued between 13 judges. I told you 13 judges in the history of the entire country. 13 judges not there. One-man army. There they had, government had hired some 15-20 lawyers. This fellow, one-man army. Right? And he used lot of convincing mechanisms, etc. There also there is, proof that the government had paid off 4-5 judges to actually vote in their favor. But the remaining judges only went by the law. This guy knew that out of 13 judges, 5-6 judges already in the pocket of the government. He wanted 7 out of 7 votes. He needed that votes now because he knew 5-6 already gone. One fellow here and there it is. So 7 votes he needed, 7 out of 7. So that went on landmark judgment about the very foundation of law. As law foundation itself is to protect a citizen. Right? The thing is when you are going, if I take away your, two-wheeler, if I take away your key, if I take away your phone, do you have any protection? Yes, you will go to the police station. Correct? And you will say this fellow took away. So what is the protection? The foundation of law itself is our Indian constitution. That only if it you taken away, that too government is taking away. Something is supposed to be the protector of everything. If they only take away, what is the point, right? So this guy argued, that is Nani Palkivela, then Nariman, Rohington Nariman, and Fali Nariman, and also Soli Sorabji went on to become, great people. And even this Fali Nariman's children, grandchildren, everybody is judge. His son is Rohington F. Nariman, who was one of the greatest judges of the Supreme Court, retired last year. Greatest judges of the Supreme Court. So he retired last year. Everybody, his other son is also in the judiciary. Anyway, so 7-6. He wanted 7 out of 7 votes. No, he got it through his, because 6 people were in the pocket already. 7 out of 7 he got. 7-6 majority we won. That is, Nani Palkivela, at his fees was 0. His fees was 0 because he knew this case would become the landmark case which every law student, every CA student, every person who is an Indian actually should know this case. That is Kesavananda Bharati. Kesavananda Bharati, for him full publicity, correct? Yes. Anyway, so there the decision was very simple. Government has no power to amend the Indian constitution. Then you can ask one doubt, sir, how did 370 article go? Did they remove 370? No, what did they do? Amend, can you amend? Parliament has no power to amend the constitution. Why were from 1947 to 2000, 1819 till the abrogation, till 2019 till the abrogation of this thing? What do you mean by abrogation? Did they amend? No, there in that 370 it says all decisions of Jammu and Kashmir will be taken by the Jammu and Kashmir Constituent Assembly. That is like that dialogue is there. Jammu and Kashmir Constituent Group. That group, even after so many years, was never formed only. That group was not formed. So when the group is not formed, obviously I have to create one other group. It said Jammu and Kashmir, Constituent Group or such other name which will be prescribed. So Indians, brilliant, again we are brilliant. We did not amend the constitution. We just said Constituent Group should be renamed as Assembly. Assembly means what? Government only. That's what they did. They did not amend the constitution. They just said that group is not formed only. For that group to be formed, there has to be one widespread election, which was called a plebiscite. That plebiscite never happened only. Since the plebiscite never happened, plebiscite means voting. Hari Singh said, bro, now I'll give my full Kashmir to you, but after you fight Pakistanis and throw them away, please hold one election. Our Indian said, sure bro. Then that sure bro never happened. Correct? So then from 1947 till now it never happened. So now they just changed that to what? Constituent Assembly. So that assembly is nothing but government. That's why it became a union territory. They did not remove. Abrogation is a wrong word. They never removed 370. You cannot remove like that. No power. Because of again this case, Kesavananda Bharati case. No power to amend the Indian constitution. So this guy, Hansraj Khanna, was one of the justice there. He told one dialogue. This is a very important thing for you to know. It's called the basic structure doctrine. The basic structure of the constitution is it cannot be amended, and it is there only for the protection of the people. Power to amend the conditions, yes, like this Kashmir, assembly. You have the power to amend the condition, not the basic pillar of constitution. You cannot take away article 14, 15, 16, 18, 19. No way. Cannot take away the power. And 1973, she lost. Indira Gandhi lost this case. She was furious. But she supported those 6 judges. In that, the youngest judge was always, behind Indira Gandhi. Whatever Indira Gandhi said, he used to do. His name was Ajit Nayak. He was promoted as Chief Justice of Supreme Court. In judiciary, there is actually a hierarchy. You should go via seniority. This fellow was some 50-year-old. Others are waiting, 60, 61, 62 are waiting. But they made him the Chief Justice. This also was one of the darkest days of the democracy. Apart from emergency, some random people basically interfering in the judiciary. Can legislature, lawmaker interfere in judiciary? No. So all these things. So basically they said judges should be, forward looking judges. A judge should be a forward looking judge. Means what? He should have that foresight of what will happen in the future. But they said Indira Gandhi ensured that the judges looked forward to becoming judges. Means what? Looked forward to become chief justices. All this happened. She amended Article 352 also. Correct? While creating the state of emergency. Right? She amended article. Government completely took over the power from whom? From you guys. You please ask your grandmom about how emergency was. You opened your mouth, jail. Correct? You watch this one, Sarpada Parambarai. In that emergency is there. Remember one scene, emergency is there. They'll tell, why are you there? All wrestling, emergency is happening. That fellow will still do it. Then they are put in jail. That fellow is put in jail because of this only. Emergency, during emergency, are not supposed to do anything. These fellows are doing wrestling competition. So he is put in jail. In jail, his six-pack will become family pack. All that, no. All that you would have seen that movie. So there they show emergency. That is called emergency. In emergency, government killed you. You are not supposed to, you were crying. We were all crying during COVID from that we are not allowed to go out. How did you feel during COVID, guys? Not allowed to go out. Correct? Happy. But still, after a point, wasn't it irritating? No. Okay, leave. Then emergency should come for you. Yes. No, I understand. That was not emergency. It's just that it's a disaster thing. But think of it, everything, whatever you do, if I control, if I tell you to walk in a particular way, obviously you will not like it. Anyway, people were jailed left, right, center. Then Sanjay Gandhi came. Sanjay Gandhi came with one great idea to control population. What? I should know all that. Vasectomy. You ask your parents, vasectomy operation means what? Family planning, forcefully, obviously getting operation on the men. All men, forceful operation. This was also, if it is a proper operation, it's okay. Done by government doctors who have no clue. They are using some old scissor. Really, actually almost 10-15 people died because of bad operation. It was forced vasectomy. Guys, you think that 1947 we got independence. We didn't. Correct? This is all the various governments. Nothing against any government. I'm just stating the facts here. So this forced vasectomy was thrust upon people. You have to get it done. Otherwise, jail. So it was a period of hell. Do you think next election Indira Gandhi won? No way. Indira Gandhi, the people were so fed up. They said, yes, I really like this lady, but now when she becomes a dictator, I will definitely not like this person for sure. So after that, what happened was, that's why in 1976 she couldn't take it. She lost the election. Just before election, she framed this FCRA and all these things. Foreign Contribution Regulation Act was coming in 1976. One more problem came in 1976, which you are seeing every day what is happening. Again, nothing against any religion, but this was the concept of proselytization. What do you mean by proselytization? Conversion. Have you watched the movie Trance? Yeah, Fahad Fazil. There's a movie called Trance. Watch it. Correct? In that trance, they'll show how people convert. Have you seen Trance? Okay, watch. In that, religion is something which you should believe in. Religion cannot be forced. Most of you, I'll ask you a question. You may like going to a temple where there are a lot of people, or you may like going to a temple where there are no people. It's up to you. Faith will come wherever, you like it. Some of you may like going to a church and sitting by the church where nobody is there. Me personally, I hate people. When I say hate people, not you guys. Generally, I am a person who doesn't like to go to crowded places. Not introvert as such. Okay, you can call me introvert also. Actually, I am, to be honest. But that's not actually, I'm an introvert. I'm not joking. So, I'm not kidding, really. So, the thing is, now I speak and all that, but then generally, I'm a very silent guy. And only in class, I'm violent. Otherwise, I'm silent. Yeah, anyway. So, coming back. So introvert is a person who will never go out. I am not like that. I am quite outgoing, but what I am trying to tell is I like to spend time with myself rather than mingling with a large group, especially temples and all. I never go. I hate some 1,000 people going there. I don't like it. Recently I had gone to this Guruvayur. That is the first and last time I am visiting that temple. Some 1,000, very nice temple, no doubt about it. Some 1,000 people. So actually I never needed to enter only. I just stood there, they only took me in. And that's how it was, correct? So when I see the sanctum sanctorum, I never feel any devotion, because for me it should be like calm and peace of mind. So any temple here where there are no people, those are the temples I like. So I go and sit in church also. Tirupati, you gone? Tirupati, so many people are there, but many people have told me, when you go on top and see the sanctum sanctorum, for all the efforts that you have put, 2 seconds if you have gone and seen the God, you will feel at peace. Correct? People have told me that. I have not gone because I don't like the rush and all. I don't like. I have not gone. So during COVID, I thought I'll go because people will not be there. There also rush, it seems. I said, don't want. Let's see. But for the experience, definitely I would like to visit. But I will never get that devotion, because for me, I don't like, rush. It's my personal opinion. So religion is something which is very, very personal. You will have a different opinion. So can you force religion? Can I say you convert to that other religion, I'll give you this much rupees? That happened in 1976. Do you know that $2 to $3 billion are being pumped into the country for conversion? It is still happening. It's called proselytization. You would have seen these videos on YouTube. There are these Babas, these Christian Babas. CD Baba, DVD Baba. DVD Baba. DVD Baba will put that DVD in your kidney. And they will say, "Oh," something he'll tell. Then what happens? Have you seen that fellow, that lady will come, sit and full shiver, shaking full, and then kidney problem gone. There was one guy called Ra Baba. I am not joking. You go to YouTube and say Ra Baba. I am not joking. Ra Baba. Ra Baba's specialty was, he was called Father Sebastian, if I am not wrong. Ra Baba. Ra Baba used to just, he was a kidney specialist. So he used to just put his hand on that person's kidney and say, ra, 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 that's it. You watch it, I'm not joking. See it to believe it. Ra Baba, his name is. That's all. That female full, kidney problem was full. She was holding like this, everything gone. Ra Baba was a chartered accountant. Yes, I am not joking. I am not joking. Please read up. Ra Baba Sebastian, Father Stephen Sebastian or something, I don't remember the name. He is a chartered accountant. Chartered accountant. Probably client and all didn't work. So there's new clients. Religion, super money. So clients. And then Ra Baba, few years ago, was found dead in his house. Kidney failure. Right? Yes. Kidney failure. He couldn't do Ra on own thing, no. Work from home facility was not there. Correct. COVID was not there that time. That's why. Anyway, poor guy, let's not make fun. But yes, he is there. Please check it. I am not making it up. Ra Baba is there on YouTube. Crazy guy, right? So if you see that guy. So the thing is, the power of conversion is so crazy with money. I will tell you this, guys, am I boring you? Yeah, this is better than law, no? Yes. So, chumma these dialogues you have to ask. You will tell no, I know. You can't say yes. Like, hey, enough, da, leave it. So now, hear me out. I can stop if I want. See, some build up. Yeah, no, I'll not stop. Even if you don't want, I will tell. Because this is my duty, I have to tell. Anyway, so what I was saying was this, Ra Baba. The power of conversion is so crazy that I learned driving from one of my father, since he was in the service, they gave him a driver, all that was there. But my father was Satya Harishchandra Part 2. The thing is, everybody else used their official car for everything. My dad, only for office purpose, coming back, official car. For personal use, we didn't have money, right? Obviously, he was just earning some 20-30,000. Very good job, government job, but salary is less. And my father has not made anything because I only do his taxes. Nothing he has made. Sometimes I tell him, hey, waste, nothing. His friend's name is Percentage Gowda. He's a Gowda, his name is Percentage Gowda. Imagine. The name only is Percentage Gowda. So during his service, when somebody used to come, they used to ask how much, sir, percentage. He used to talk percentage only. That guy has around 7 breweries in Bangalore now. 7 breweries, freshly brewed beer. He makes in Bangalore 7, minting money. He has minted a lot. I'll tell my dad, hey, see, look at that guy. Your best friend. He is, has 7 breweries. You are also there. But anyway, my dad is super happy and I am also very proud of him, guys, because not even 1 rupee has taken. Yes, anyway. So, he is enjoying his life. If you think that I am a traveler, my father is really my father. He went to Costa Rica for 3 months. Amazon forest, Peru, Machu Picchu, he is almost 70, correct? So, he went for 3 months. And I said, aren't you tired? He said, I am dead. Then, okay, then I hope, please take some 4-5 months rest. He said, sure. Next week he is going to Kenya. He already booked also. Anyway, so all his money, whatever little bit is saved, now he is saved very smartly. Whatever money he is getting is fully traveling, enjoying. Let him enjoy. Good. So anyway, here coming back, so he bought with great difficulty one third-hand car, not even second-hand, third-hand. Is there a word called third hand? Not even used car, used car. Alright? So he had bought one Fiat car. You know Fiat? Premier Padmini, MEB 8081. I remember the name or number also. That car they bought. When he bought that car, he distributed sweets to the full area. As if he bought some Mercedes Benz. Anyway, okay, that was with hard earned money. Third hand car he had bought. So this driver uncle that we had at home, I used to call him Anna. So the driver Anna, I told him I was just some 10-year-old kid. I said I want to drive. That time only I had full, I love driving. I said teach me driving. So that driver Anna was the guy who actually taught me driving. Every day after dropping my dad, then used to come here, use a personal car. And we obviously used to pay him extra for teaching. So he taught me driving. That Anna respected my dad a lot, but he was a rowdy. Right? He was a rowdy. Anything in the drivers community, anything happened, he used to go. And he had that time all this all machete and all that, full long. He was like that level rowdy he is, not joking. So one day he comes to my dad, true story, I'm not joking. One day he came to my dad and said, sir, please give me 2 days off. My dad said, why? Sir, in my village they are converting people. I will not allow this to happen. Some Christian people are coming and apparently are converting everybody, sir. So I will immediately need to go. I need to do something. My dad said, okay, but don't do all these nonsense things. Just, ensure that you don't hit anybody. No, sir, I'll not do anything. Then when he was going, he winked at me. Like, I'll do everything. So then I was like, you please, I was a 10-year-old kid. I was like, Anna, you do properly, belt them properly. And then come and tell me the full story. He said, 100%, I'll tell. So when 2 days later he came. So he came. I was full Josh, waiting for him to come. I was like, hi Anna, how are you? Tell me, what did you do? How was it? Please tell me. He said, from today, my name is Paul. He went to hit them. He only got converted and came. True story. I'm not joking. He went to hit them. They did something to him, he converted and came. He said, from today my name is Paul. Correct? So nothing against that, but this Anna actually embraced Christianity out of his own free will. He said, something happened to me, some divine intervention when that pastor met me. Today, I am still in touch with him, he's just a phone call away. He is a pastor who has traveled almost 50 countries today. That same Anna is retired from driving and all. He comes to Bangalore once a week for his service. He is doing superb work. He has opened schools and all that. He's helping the poor. He's doing really good work. See, credit where credit is due. He's doing very good work. I remember still, he had called me on the day of my exam. I still remember. He only called me. So weird. He only called me and he said, I know something is, bothering you today. I said, how did you know? No, I just knew. I have been seeing you since you were a kid. So I'll pray for you. So he prayed for me. And he told me, whatever it is, you will clear in the first attempt. It happened, right? So there is some power, for sure, there is some power. But see the power, guys, power of these people who are going to convert, right? He went there to hit them, converted and came. Crazy. So religion, what I am trying to tell, is a very, very personal choice. What is wrong is paying money and converting. That is wrong. If you want to embrace, please. Ambedkar embraced Buddhism. Now you want to change, you want to embrace anything, it's up to us, our choice. Once we become adults, completely adults, we know the worldly knowledge of what is good, what affects us, what doesn't affect us, which God or which spiritual power welcomes us, up to us. Nobody can stop us. But this paying money to the poor people and paying 50,000 I'll give you, convert to this religion, convert to Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, all this is 100% wrong. You cannot convert people like that. But it's happening. That because of money coming from abroad. That's why FCRA came, called proselytization, and also terror funding. How is it possible that people, wield AK-47, AK-56 rifles? How is it possible? Terror funding. During our parliament attack, during our 26/11, Ajmal Kasab has having AK-47. We were having Lati, and we were having guns. In the parliament attack also, each gun had only 2 bullets. In that 1 bullet, that fellow had given it to his wife, it seems. In the inquiry later, they saw the guards who had 2 bullets, 1 bullet was given to his wife. He gave it to his wife. They call it shagun, which means for a good purpose. It's like a token. You keep it. In 1 bullet, he's hitting the terrorist. That's the problem. Unfortunate. All old guns we are manufacturing. So, because of terror funding, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act also had come. As I told you, proselytization. And of course, there was CIA versus KGB. I didn't want funds to come, right? So, basically, guys, there was a 42nd amendment where government passed this amendment, believe it or not. They said Supreme Court has no power on government decisions. They said government they put that case, Kesavananda Bharati. His 42nd amendment was to nullify Kesavananda Bharati. They said Supreme Court has no power on government decision. What was government decision? Amending the constitution. With this was the final straw. Congress, game over. Next time they were thrown out. And next time they were thrown out, but there was in 1977 a guy called Morarji Desai. Morarji Desai came into power. One thing I'll tell you, if I am a law faculty, I will never improve if I don't have competition. Do you agree? Yes, you will never improve. You will think you are only God. All the people before who were there, who were actually excellent law faculty, one thing they did not do was change. You should change with the times. You should change with the times, right? If you don't change with the times, gone. Always and always, you will only thrive when there is competition. The moment it becomes monopoly, gone. So, anything for that matter, anything, anywhere, whatever you see, there has to be competition. See, there are so many players in the Chennai market, but KSA has already captured everything. Though, yes, obviously, it's the fact of life. There are so many players. Chennai, you see, so many institutions are there. But KSA has captured because of, obviously, changing. You should always change. In the last 3 years, I am associated with KSA for only 1 year now, I think. I think last March I came. But I've been seeing the growth. It is exponential growth. It is not just normal growth, exponential growth. That is because they have changed. I told you that feedback thing also, it will matter. So, if you do not have competition, you feel that you are only the king. Like, for example, our Indian government, unfortunately now, does not have any competition. So, it is a dangerous thing. There is nothing to be happy about. A good democracy will only thrive if there is excellent opposition. Opposition is not good. Rahul Gandhi and all. Right? So, the thing is, he doesn't know opposition spelling also, I'm sure. Right? So, the problem is you should have a very strong, solid opposition. Otherwise, people will do whatever they want. Our government will do whatever they want. Nobody to stop them. Correct? So, that is the problem. Why I am telling you this is, when Indira Gandhi they threw out, they got Morarji Desai into power. He was horrible. This entire party, the Jan Shakti or something it was called, it was horrible. They did not know how to run the country. In 1977, there's an Indira Gandhi interview. You should watch that. In Indira Gandhi interview, it is in the UK. Some foreign journalist is asking, emergency you did and you were thrown out from the country. She said, who told you that I got thrown out? You see, next year I'll be back as Prime Minister. She told. In India, without me, nothing will run. Confidence. You should see that interview. 20 minutes. That fellow was shivering. Whatever questions he asked, the way she is answering, no, amazing. You can check Indira Gandhi interview, 1977, England interview, whatever. It's there. It's on 15-20 minute interview. You see the way she speaks, you'll come to know. She knew that she'll win. Did she win next year? Yes. A person who did the emergency, who actually asked you to shut up and not speak, when you threw her out, the other person was so bad that you're like, okay, you only come, no problem. So Indira Gandhi next year, but one good thing this fellow did was, he scrapped the 42nd Amendment, thereby giving importance again to what? Kesavananda Bharati case. But it was severely incompetent government, unfortunately, thrown out, and next year, he brought in the 43rd and 44th Amendment, and anyway, he was anyway thrown out. 1980, 2-3 years later, they ruled for 2-3 years. 1980, again who came back to power? As Indira Gandhi came back to power. This time she said, okay, let me do something nice. And of course, that time the KGB influence had gone little less. Then she brought in various things with respect to foreign exchange regulation also. She said, you can go outside the country for medical treatment. You can go outside the country for education. You can do all that. That one bad thing happened because of that, brain drain. Do you know what is brain drain? All the intellectual people of our country, the cream of the cream, decided to move out, and they stayed there only. That's why all these top companies have Indians there, because the cream of the cream decided to move out of the country. Only very few people stayed back, moved out. But anyway, this is what happened. But guys, at that juncture in Punjab is one of the it's a very turbulent state. It is so peaceful, yet it is so violent. There is gun culture in Punjab, drug culture in Punjab. Have you watched the movie Udta Punjab? Yeah, Udta Punjab is a movie where Shahid Kapoor and all is there in that. In that they show. Have you heard Yo-Yo Honey sing? Yo-Yo Honey Singh was an amazing singer, in the sense his lyrics and all were stupid, but his singing was okay. He used to charge 1.5 crore per song. Sonu Nigam and all used to, only, charge 25-30 lakhs. This guy 1.5-2 crore per song. Yo-Yo Honey Singh fell into drugs. And then that's it, wiped out. Then the other guy called Bacha took over. Then if you see, all the Punjabi singers inherently have that gun culture in their songs. So they are violent, not by nature, but due to various circumstances. You saw recently that guy, Sidhu Moosewala, he was murdered. He, in all his songs, it was promoting gun culture, right? So that is how it is. And drug culture is also there. But it is one of the most, hospitable people there, the Sikh, the Punjabi Sikhs, if you see. So what happened during this time? In 1984, there was a Khalistan movement. There was this guy called Jarnail Singh. Again, see, he was a terrorist. We only tell terrorism is in Islam, etc. No, it was here also. Jarnail Singh. He was a terrorist. He was killing left, right and center people in our country. But he was a Punjabi Sikh community. He was staying in Golden Temple, Amritsar. As I told you, nobody will go and touch you in a place of worship. If any attack is there from today, always remember, go to a temple or go to a mosque, go wherever to a place of worship, nobody will touch you. He was handling his entire operations where? In Golden Temple. I have visited many places in the world, but the peace of mind that I got in Golden Temple, I have never got anywhere in my life. So it's so peaceful, very, very calming. And there, the Punjabi Sikhs, I saw a different wing. This is why I wear. This is what I bought from 50 rupees. I'm wearing it since almost like whenever I've gone there. That peace of mind, that 50 rupees is still there. Whatever I got, that peace of mind there is something that again, I don't believe in anything, but that peace of mind is, I only go by the vibes. When I go there, the peace of mind that I got was something which is amazing. So I still remember that very vividly. So the thing is here, if you see this, he was staying there. He was staying there. When I went there also, one guy came in a Rolls Royce, 3 crore car. Came in a Rolls Royce and he got down. I thought, wow, man, what is he? He's coming there, must be some, great, maybe a politician or maybe some singer, I don't know. So that guy, after 5 minutes, I'm seeing, is sweeping the floor. A guy who got down from the Rolls Royce is sweeping the floor. If you go to this place, Golden Temple, Golden Temple Amritsar, you will, if you do not have a house, you can go stay there. If you do not have food, they will give you meals. They will not tell you when you are leaving, when you want to go. You be here as much as you want. And every person there, like this Rolls Royce guy is coming there every morning, he sweeps the entire, Gurudwara. It is one of the, very, very great, peaceful temples. Now, the thing is, this Jarnail Singh, where was he? He was in that Gurudwara taking, he was there. He was, there in the Gurudwara. So, this Indira Gandhi, as I told you, lioness, she ordered the Indian army enter Golden Temple and kill everybody. Right? It is called Operation Blue Star. It is one of the most daring things ever in the history of our country. Imagine, guys, she said, I know you are going and staying there. Why? Because, why are you going and staying there? Because I know you will not, you think I won't come. I will not give a damn. He said, enter the place, kill everyone. Indian army, do you think they should listen or not? Obviously. So they went and killed everybody inside. Civilians also were there, unfortunately. They tried avoiding, 1 or 2 civilians dead, but guys, blood was spilled in a sacred place. Do you think the Sikh community will, I know there's a terrorist, but do not come to the sacred place. You have no right to come to the sacred place. I know you are a lioness, but this will not be, it will really, this is something crossing the limit. You came to my place of worship and spilled one blood of my fellow man. Whatever it may be, you do your dealings when that person is outside. He is seeking protection. It is my duty to protect him. Yes, he is a terrorist, fine, I agree. But that is in your eyes. In my eyes, he is not a terrorist. He is protecting my community, Sikh community. So these Sikh people are very adamant. If you see, every single law of Narendra Modi government is passed except farm laws. Farm laws. The farm laws have not been passed only because the Sikh community, the Punjabis actually, were there for almost 1 year, 1.5 years. Narendra Modi, he is also a lion. They say that he said, sorry, I did not know that this would create so much problems. I am withdrawing the farm laws. So you should never ever, offend a Punjabi. You should never offend the turban. We'll make stupid Sardari jokes and all. No, you should never do it. Normally you do, but you should never offend them. They'll also laugh. They are very jovial people, but you should never offend anybody, for not just Sikh. You should never offend anybody's religious sentiments. Right? You should never offend anybody's religious sentiments. So this lady did it. So when this Indira Gandhi's own bodyguards shot her dead. Indira Gandhi's own bodyguards were sick, 2 Sikhs. They said this is not acceptable. So in her home only, they were there, supposed to look after the life of Indira Gandhi. He said, I don't care. She violated my, sacred home. I am not going to leave her. Indira Gandhi was shot dead. You ask this to your parents, you will know. Indira Gandhi death is like, till today also shocking. Correct? You will know all that. This is the history of all these things, right? Indira Gandhi's death was till today shocking. So Indira Gandhi was shot dead, attacked by security men only at number 1 Safdarjung Road. shot dead. So in this entire thing, again, dynastic politics, did not know what to do. There was a pilot who was very happy in his own life. He did not want to interfere in anything. He had married a foreigner also, correct? They pulled him and said, you become the prime minister of the country, correct? Rajiv Gandhi. So Rajiv Gandhi, they killed obviously the two Sikh people, and Rajiv Gandhi became the prime minister of the country by force. But the problem with him also, he was not as fearless as his mother, but he was actually more compassionate as well. But everybody has their own flaws, right? If you want, Narendra Modi's main allegation against him is what? Gujarat riots. During Gujarat riots, when he was the chief minister, he did not take any action. He let Hindus kill Muslims. That's the fact. That is the, allegation against him. There was one police officer who knew the full story. His name is Sanjeev Bhatt. You can search if you want. Sanjiv Bhatt. Sanjeev Bhatt. As long as Narendra Modi is alive, Sanjeev Bhatt will rot in jail. Sanjeev Bhatt was a police officer who knows everything that happened because he was the commissioner when Modi was the chief minister. So Sanjeev Bhatt IPS, he was jailed on a false charge the day Modi became prime minister. It has been almost so many years now. He will not be let out also, I can assure you. His children are still fighting the cause. As I told you, I am not here to make any political statements, political discussions. As you know, I am very, very objective. I am bashing everybody, supporting everybody. So credit where credit is due. But also everybody has skeletons. Everybody has skeletons. Now Narendra Modi was acquitted by all the courts. He was said he is not guilty. But if you see Sanjeev Bhatt, if you read about his life, do some research, use your brains, do some research. You will see that he has his own story. According to him, what Modi did was a genocide. He allowed people killing. Said, let them kill, it's okay. So it's there, all versions are there. As an informed citizen of our country, you should know what part of a person is good, what part of a person is bad, whether you would still support because nobody else is there. You should take an info. I am nobody to tell you. You should do your own research than blindly going and voting for whoever you want. Correct? Or if you feel that I don't want to vote, do that nota option. At least go and vote, but it is our duty and responsibility to vote. So anyway, this guy also full scam fellow, unfortunately. So Bofors scam. So all dealings again with Russia, with France, with all these kickbacks, crores of rupees, misuse of power, abuse of authority, all this happened, guys. All this happened. Then one more stupid thing he did, which at that point of time was a logical thing to do. Again, it is linked to our, Tamil Nadu. So he sent a Tamil peacekeeping corps, a Tamil peacekeeping force, Indian army is sent to Sri Lanka. Correct? Again, he was like America. He should shut his mouth and sit. Rather than that, he'll going there, some other country, neighboring country Sri Lanka. You look at your country, no? Neighboring country Sri Lanka, he goes and he sends the peacekeeping army. But there it is alleged that the peacekeeping army committed lot of atrocities there in Sri Lanka. Correct? That effect is still ringing now. Family Man season 2. Right? Samantha's character is based on this only, of all the atrocities that happened in Sri Lanka by the Indians. So because of that happened, Prabhakaran of LTTE, correct? Prabhakaran of LTTE, he said, enough is enough. These people are coming into my country and they are doing it. So there was an assassination attempt on Rajiv Gandhi in Sri Lanka. That is also there. Gunman is there, he goes and hits Rajiv Gandhi when he has gone there. It's all there on YouTube, right? You have seen everything, but you don't know the story, right? I'm just connecting everything. So there was an attempt, there also they told there's an attempt on you, don't do it and all that. Fine. And then when Rajiv Gandhi came again for election campaigning in Sri Perumbadur, here only, close by, right? Sri Perumbadur. So human bomb by LTT. Human bomb, Rajiv Gandhi also, this Tamil, LTT. Rajiv Gandhi also was assassinated. It was shockwaves in our country. Correct? Indira Gandhi assassination, Rajiv Gandhi emergency, right? All these, send shockwaves in our country. So this is the thing. But all this was there, guys. All this was going on. All dynastic politics. Once Rajiv Gandhi died, the baton was again passed over to a foreigner. Started with British, again transferred to a foreigner. They had no, there is no opposition only. I hope you know what will happen when there is no opposition. Now also there is no opposition. It's very dangerous. Yes, policies may be good, development may be there, but no opposition, problem. What will happen to me if there is no good competition? I will get two horns. Hey, this I don't want to teach. You want to learn, you learn. Get out. That attitude, it will never come, I'm saying. It will come for any person, by default. You should always have opposition. If you always keep on supporting the government, whatever they do, no opposition, two horns will come. So the country's success is not good governance, it is also good opposition. Full 47 till 90 we didn't have. Now also, unfortunately, there is no good opposition. Government is decent. Everyone has skeletons, but decent, but opposition not there. Means whatever they do is correct, unfortunately. So anyway, all this was happening. Srimati, this Sonia madam took over the entire Congress party. She said, I will take over. Now they wanted a new face. So they said, let's put a bakra, puppet. Let's put a bakra there, puppet, where? In the ministry, I will run the show. So they put a bakra, or that's what they thought. Correct? They put what? P.V. Narsimha Rao. Guy, very, very soft spoken. He'll not open his mouth also. They said, this fellow will always listen to me. This guy said, hey, Voda. This guy, today, if country is where it is, guys, it is only because of this man. P.V. Narsimha Rao. Not even one film is there on him. Correct? Right? P.V. Narsimha Rao. At least read about him. Please read about him. P.V. Narsimha Rao, proficient in 20 plus languages. 20 plus languages. Scholar. From Hyderabad, soft spoken. Congress party thought, we'll put this fellow and let's rule. He said nothing. He said, how you are running the country is not good. So they said, what minister you want? Some finance minister you choose. So one of the greatest ever ministers Manmohan Singh. Manmohan Singh, his CV only is some 45 pages. So Manmohan Singh he chose as his finance minister. And the way it is, all this that you are sitting and listening today is only because of one guy. Two people, P.V. Narsimha Rao and Manmohan Singh. The limelight always is on Manmohan Singh. Unsung hero actually is P.V. Narsimha Rao. Because the Congress party did not like what he was doing. He told Manmohan Singh, you do whatever you want, I will be behind you. I will take the fall. I will take the hit. I will do everything, don't worry. So if you see, Manmohan Singh took over the thing, and LPG effect, 1991, liberalization, privatization, global, which you learn in economics, that everything, this is how it happened, changed the entire dynamics. They said, FERA and all, leave. Everything is allowed until prohibited. 1999, it led to, FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act. Then, there was one big daddy called Bombay Stock Exchange, was always feeling that I am the best. So Manmohan Singh started NSC. National, I have told you this, right? National Stock Exchange, saying that now competition. Competition is king. And Narsimha Rao, unfortunately, they simply ensured that he had to fall. So in 1991, Harshad Mehta scam happened. Harshad Mehta scam. In Harshad Mehta scam, they put this guy's name, that he took bribe and all those things. Then they threw him out from the ministry, and he died a lonely death many, many years later. When a prime minister dies, ex-prime minister dies, the body should be buried in Delhi. That's the rule. So when the body was being brought to Delhi, before that, body should be kept in the party which he belongs to. He belongs to Congress party. There is a video also. When the body is going near Congress party's house, the door is not open only. They said, I am not going to open the door. I don't care. I don't know who this fellow is. This is years later after his death. And then again, they sent his body back to Hyderabad. They said, we will not cremate him here. He will die in Hyderabad only. In Hyderabad, he was cremated. It's a true story. His body didn't burn only. I'm not joking. Body didn't burn. They were burning his body, half burnt body. The body didn't burn despite the knowledge. It's still a miracle. Body didn't burn, which means even in the death, he was a rebel. There's a book called Half Lion. It's on his name, it's on the life of P.V. Narsimha Rao, Half Lion. In that, the first chapter is called Half Burned Body. Half burned body. So it is because of P.V. Narsimha Rao. We don't know about him only. He is, in my opinion, one of the greatest prime ministers of the world who changed the entire country actually at that time. Of course, the credit should go to, no doubt, our Manmohan Singh. Again, beyond party lines, it's the individual. This happened. So NSC was there, Harshad Mehta scam happened, and then that's why what came? SEBI, Security Exchange Board of India. Security Exchange Board of India came into force. And then when Atal Bihari Vajpayee came, your FEMA, etc. came. So what I'm trying to tell is, I'm showing you various laws. Various laws are what? All linked to some events of history. And you and I, as chartered accountants, if we do not know the history of our country, what you'll interpret? So tomorrow, if anybody asks you, sir, why is this law? I don't know. It was there in syllabus. Let's study. It's there, interpretation. Let's study. Companies Act, I don't know why it's there. Let's study. It should not be like that. We should know. So I showed you many laws here, FCRA, FERA, FEMA, then this thing. Then this competition, everyone was ruining. So Competition Act also came. Because everybody was competing against each other. MRTP Act came first. That is the Monopoly and Restrictive Trade Practices Act. So basically, that is the meaning of what I am trying to tell. That is why I told you all this honestly, is to explain to you only 1-2 words. What? Historical setting. Correct? External aids of interpretation. Right? Historical setting. Historical setting. Right? So if you see, again you read here, the history of the external circumstances which led to the enactment in question is of much significance in construing any enactment. That's all. 3 lines. The history of the external circumstances which led to the enactment a law in question is of much significance in construing any enactment. So if we as Indians do not know our own history, what will we teach our future generation, or what will we tell others? We should know our history. We should know why each and every law came. That is why now I understand that great man's words. History are not events of the past. They are guidance for the future. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Bye. Yes. Hope you understood. Thank you guys. Bye. See you. Tomorrow I don't know what time. I have 2 sessions. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. Tomorrow we'll continue with what? Chapter number 10. See you guys.